the other thing that the government, not just this, the previous government also started this initiative, is to involve corporate participation in nation building through the CSR, corporate social responsibility. Is that the way to go then, since, as you're saying, the government can make policy, people have to implement it?
I would go further. I'm not so much for asking people to do philanthropy, because no activity can be sustained for long periods of time if it is not beneficial to both the parties. Whether it's a marketplace or marriage, both the people should benefit, only then it'll work, isn't it? Only one person is benefiting, people find devious ways to do things. You're again trying to bring in another level of deviousness. Now a whole lot of professionals will come up, how to make use of CSR money without giving it to anybody. Okay? It'll start, innovation will start on that level.
It has begun.
Instead of that, I think we should make a law. We can look at this, not exactly. 10% of your business must be in rural India. It must be it must be relevant for rural people. How to craft this, you decide. You must invest 10% of your profit. In rural businesses, you make money out of it, we don't mind. But you must do business across the country, not just focused in one place. If you're beyond a certain size, let's leave the small and medium businesses. The larger businesses must invest in rural India and innovate businesses for rural India so that it becomes relevant. Then the rural India will buzz, rather than giving them, schools and this and that free. If you make them earn more money, they will find their way.
Yes. Okay. Well, finally, what is your advice to people who normally watch our channels? People who watch our channels are those who want to use their surplus money to make more money. I guess the Morgan Stanley Investor Conference is also about people who take other people's money and try to help them make more money. What's the advice?
See, when you say an investment, in one way, you're throwing your money out, okay? You're hoping it'll rain money. It may not. So, you should be able to judiciously see. Is there a perfect way of making this judgment? No. But if you had a keener sense of perception, definitely you would make better investment. In the investment market, people who know all the statistics and details need not necessarily make the best investments. There are some people who have a very astute sense of perception. Those people make the best investments across the world. And I've seen and I've spoken to many of them. I see what they have is not just information, a certain sense of perception. And perception is not just about the market trends, about what the people want. You must talk to people at least, you must look at people's lifestyles, what the youth want, what the women want, what somebody else wants, and what is their population, and what will they buy or sell tomorrow morning. If you look at this, you know where to invest. You will find innovative ways to invest. So, being an investor is like being pregnant, because you throw it there and you have to wait.
Okay.
You don't know. You don't know whether you will deliver a sorcerer or a sage. You don't know what you will deliver, isn't it?
Yes.
So, investment is just like that. It is like, you can't even do knitting, you have to just sit there and wait. What will happen, what will happen, what will happen. So, it needs a certain state of mind, a certain balance within you. Because an investor means you are not conducting the money yourself. You're banking on somebody else to do well.
Yes.
Maybe you got your man there to judge a few things, but still that's not entire control over the business. You're not running the business. Somebody else is running, you're betting on another horse. So, you must have an inner balance, that you're able to be here balanced. So I would say all investors must do yoga. They must have that harmony and balance within themselves, because they need the patience of a pregnant woman. They can't rush it, it has to run its period, it has to run its course. And in the end, you don't know what's the result. So you will need a certain inner balance.
Well, 9 months is a very good analogy. In markets, we normally say, markets discount the future 9 months in advance. Well, a final point which seems to be creating a lot of dissonance in recent days, the government's call for a beef ban. As a yogi and a spiritual leader, what's your reaction?
My thing is, first of all, we must ban the ban.
Okay.
in this country. Because this, ban that will not create a good culture. If we don't want something, there are other ways to do it. We should educate people. We must see what are the sensitivities of the nation and address it in a different way. Just ban this, ban that is not an answer. Anything that you ban unnecessarily becomes popular.
Okay.
The whole lot of… I think many of the, low-budget cinema people have understood this. Somehow get a ban. And your marketing is done. You don't have to spend a rupee in your marketing. It will become a hit. So, I don't believe in banning anything. At the same time, in terms of health, ecology and the cultural sensitivity, considering these things, entire world, all the affluent countries are trying to move away from red meat and move towards a more healthy diet because they have seen that they've paid an enormous price. As I said, I'll repeat this again, the only resource that you have in this country is human resource. How healthy you keep them, how well you keep them, how agile and intelligent you keep them will determine the future of this nation. So in that context, when scientific studies have clearly said red meat is not the best meat for you because you are not a tiger, though you may… some of the men may believe they're tigers, I have a right. I can think I'm a lion, but that's not the best diet for this body. If you had come with a different body, it was different. That's one aspect. Ecologically, 20% of the world's pollution levels are mainly because of beef eating. We don't have to cultivate this because today we are just slaughtering animals on the street, they will run out in a little while and afterwards we will start rearing them in pens, then the methane production is so high, we don't have to go in that direction. Another thing is, we are somehow, with very rudimentary farming methods, we are managing to produce food for 1 billion people. But our soil, the quality of our soil is depleting phenomenally. The only way you can retain this is by keeping the animals. Farm animals should stay. They have to live and stay, whether they're productive, not productive, it doesn't matter. They have to live and stay because the dung is the most valuable part of the cow, not the milk, not the flesh. Dung is the most… Don't think this is bullshit.
No.
The dung is the most valuable part because this keeps the soil good. Now, we are destroying the soil. Some of the scientists, some of the scientific studies say in another 40 years in India, you won't be able to… major part of India, you won't be able to grow anything worthwhile. With 1 billion population, is that the direction in which you want to go? I think instead of banning beef, you must say every acre should have minimum 4 animals, it's compulsory for every farm.
Okay.
Even if you have a tractor, you must have minimum 4 animals for every acre if you want to run a farm, otherwise you can't run a farm. This is the law we need. And another aspect of it is, we have been a pastoral country. Cows have been part of our lives, our lore, and the Krishna and the works. It's not a religious thing, it's part of our thing. People have had deep relationships with cows for a long time. And cow is one animal which has human emotions. If you're in any state of grief, a cow in your house, just go and see, it'll shed tears for you. Because of this, it has human emotions. Because it has human emotions, if you kill a cow, it amounts to murder. If you eat a cow, it amounts to cannibalism. This is the understanding in the culture.
Yes.
So because of that, 80% of the population has a certain sensitivity. I think we must respect that. But if one person wants to eat beef and he cuts his own stuff and eats in his house, I don't think it's my problem. But I don't want India to become a major beef exporting country. That's for 100%. And that is the feeling of over 80% of the people in this country. And this is not about religion. This is like, suppose you're a dog lover. I cut up your dog and eat it up because I like it. There are cultures which eat up dogs, okay? The moment it's not productive, cut it up and eat it is not our culture. And another thing is, we drink the milk of the cow. Normally in this culture, now you're buying it and drinking it in a plastic sachet, but otherwise we knew from which cow, when we were growing up, we drank milk. Do you understand? So we always treated the cow as our second mother. So now the mothers become old, do we cut her and eat her? It's something unthinkable for us. So it is a certain sensitivity which must be respected. Large-scale slaughter of cows cannot happen, not by ban, by education and by control in a certain way. Definitely we should not be a beef exporter, but if somebody wants to eat in their home, it's up to them.
Guruji, it was a pleasure and an honor listening to you. We are a material channel, but I have never realized that materialism can be so spiritual, or spiritual can be so materially meaningful. Thank you very much for joining us on CNBC.
Don't divide the world.